The personalities that matter with Keith Vaz on Talking Points.
Leica Radio.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed the music. That was Coca-Cola, sung by Neha Kakar and Tony Kakar. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. Now, have you heard this joke?
तो मेरे दोस्त ने कहा हाइट से बढ़ती है ला बंजी कर ले सारा डर निकल जाएगा। मैं कहा ये कैसे सा लॉजिक हुआ कि जो चीज करने से फट रही है वही कर ले आदमी। नहीं, ऐसे तो मेरी मौत से भी फटती है। तो एक बार छुरा घोंप लेते हैं, फिर जिंदगी भी खत्म, डर भी खत्म, विन विन।
My special guest today is a stand-up comedian and YouTube sensation, Rahul Dua, whose online videos regularly amass as many as 11 million viewers. That's about 15% of the population of the UK. Having previously worked as an investment banker in Mumbai, he found a new calling as a stand-up comedian. Some of you will say that was definitely a promotion. He gained fame through the popular Indian stand-up competition program Comicstan in 2018. He has brought his comedic stylings all the way from Mumbai to talk to us today in advance of his visit to Britain, which is imminent. Let's go to India's commercial capital and talk to Rahul Dua. Good morning, Rahul.
Hi, Keith. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here.
Now, you were born and raised in Ludhiana in the Punjab. I realize that many people must have asked you this question, but were you surrounded by funny people, which eventually meant that you would become a comedian, or was it a pretty normal family?
Well, yeah, I was surrounded by a lot of funny people, and a lot of funny people in a family is a pretty normal family in this side of the country. But I'm very glad that none of them decided to pursue stand-up comedy so that I could do it, because if they were doing comedy, I would have been as successful as I am, because these guys are way funnier. My mom, my brother, everybody is so much more funny.
But you started by choosing engineering as your profession, and you went from that, specializing in finance in the Faculty of Management Studies in Delhi. So at that stage, there was no signs of stand-up comedy. Oh, why did you go into engineering, and how did that lead to finance?
So, Keith, how things happen in the education system of our country is that due to lack of decision-making, a majority of people choose engineering as a career option. That since they don't know what to do, they choose engineering to figure out what to be done later after engineering. So that's exactly what happened to me. Since I had no idea what to do with my life and my career, I chose engineering, just booked myself a good college for 4 years and had a good time. And post which, how finance happened was because the job that I got after engineering wasn't paying me very well. I realized that if I do MBA, then I might end up making more money in the same amount of working hours that I do. So that's what led me to finance and MBA in general. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Lack of decision making and absolutely zero research.
Now, after your studies, your early career, in engineering, you eventually landed a job as an investment banker in Mumbai. So not quite the Wolf of Wall Street as we have in America, but probably the bear of BKC. Did you not enjoy being a banker? Are you sad about the, bonuses and the lunches, the free lunches you used to have? It must have been a great lifestyle for a young man.
Yeah, it definitely was a great lifestyle. And actually, I was getting to interact with the who's who of the banking industry. I had some high-profile clients, like actually my team had a lot of high-profile clients. And of course, I was very happy with the salary as well as the packages. But overall, I wasn't really happy because the kind of working hours were very strenuous and I had long days. I had almost zero vacation. And the fact that I had to fake a marriage of my cousin to get a 3-day leave. That kind of environment wasn't really suitable for me to thrive in. So that's why I decided to look for alternatives.
This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm talking to the YouTube sensation Rahul Dua, who's about to start a tour of the United Kingdom. Join us after the break.
Keith Vaz on Talking Points. Leica.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. We've got the first interview in the UK radio with Rahul Dua, who's about to start his tour of the UK, the YouTube sensation who's watched by 11 million people. Now, Rahul, the transition from banking into stand-up comedy must have had a big effect on your lifestyle, i.e. no money. How did you cope with that change?
Wow, I'm glad that the no money component of the stand-up comedy is a universal phenomenon. It's not just restricted to India. Yeah, you're absolutely right. From a high-profile, high-paying banking job to a zero-money stand-up comedy career was a big lifestyle change. From shifting to local trains, from Ubers, and from shifting to packed lunches from high-profile high teas. It was a sudden change, but I was ready for it, and I kind of adapted to it. I did take up an easier job in the early days of my stand-up career, but no way was that intended to stray me away from the path of stand-up. So I had my mind made up, and things started to fall into place one after the other because my intent was in the right place.
I'm trying to imagine the reaction of your parents when you went up to them and said, Mum and Dad, I'm sorry, I'm giving up my career as a banker to become a stand-up comedian. What was their reaction to all this?
Keith, I'm in the same boat as you because I will also have to imagine their reaction because we were in different cities and we spoke on phone. So I did not really know how they looked, how whitewashed they looked at that point in time. But glad and fortunate that my parents have been very supportive all throughout. They supported me because, and they were of the opinion that since I have my degrees with me from a good B school, so anytime I want to fall back on the plan B, where in a scenario where stand-up doesn't work out for me and I need to make ends meet, I will definitely be able to pick up a job. So they were pretty supportive and they supported me all throughout, and they gave a thumbs up right from day one that please do whatever you want to, follow your heart, and you will succeed. And I think it's their blessings at the end of it.
And when you started, there must have been one big moment when you felt, actually, I can make a go of this. I want to spend the rest of my life, or at least part of my life, being a stand-up comic. When was that big moment when you realised, I'm going to do this? I can actually make it a success?
Keith, so I wanted to do stand-up because I was the jester of my group. I was the funny person in my group. So being pushed by friends was one thing, but I always wanted to do it professionally. And when I moved to Mumbai from a small town of Ludhiana, I realized that it can be made a proper career option. But when you talk about one particular moment which made me realize that, this is something that I can do and this is something where my heart is, there was one fine day where I only had a small 5-minute spot at the local comedy club where there were 3 headliners from Mumbai who were doing. And this is Delhi I'm talking about, by the way. And I got a 5-minute spot. The room was kind of dry on that particular day. The headliners weren't really working to their maximum potential. I went up there and I had a tough day at office. I went up there, did 5 minutes of material, and I killed very hard. The fact that I was able to make a dead room kind of alive made me realize that this is something that I really love doing, and this is something that I would want to do for a considerable part of my life.
Now, are there comedians who you particularly admire? Because obviously somebody else makes you laugh, and as a result of it, you want to make other people laugh. Not just necessarily in India, but also all over the world. Is there someone you think, oh my God, he or she, they're so funny, I want to be like them? Obviously, Rahul Dua is Rahul Dua. No one's going to be like you. But tell me which of the comedians that make you laugh.
I went to the Fringe Festival in 2019, and there was this duo of Zach and Vigo. I saw their show and I was absolutely rolling on the floor with the gags. In addition to that, in terms of the big wigs, there's Jordan Brooks, who was the winner of that year Edinburgh Fringe. And then there's Bill Burr, absolutely. He's my all-time favorite. But there's one comedian, there's a UK comedian, James A. Caster, who's always left me in absolute awe as to how this fellow's mind works. I'm in complete awe of that particular man. How the way he workshops his material and the way he goes about it, it's completely amazing. So yeah, these people are who I look up to, actually.
This is Keith Vaz on Talking Points on Leica Radio. I'm talking to the YouTube sensation Rahul Dua, the comedian who has 11 million viewers on YouTube. When we come back, we'll be asking about the current situation regarding his comedy, his tour of the UK, which is starting next week, and other facets of his very funny life. Join us after the break.
Keith Vaz on Talking Points, Leica.
Welcome back. This is Keith Vaz on Leica Radio Talking Points. I'm talking to the YouTube comedy sensation Rahul Dua, who's about to start a tour of the UK and Ireland this week. Rahul, you managed to fit in so much in your life in the last couple of years, and you got married to Nidhi Tyagi in 2020, just a year and a half ago. She's actually also appeared in some of your YouTube videos. Is she an influence on your career? And maybe she has a potential interest in a career in comedy herself, or is she just being a very supportive wife?
Yeah, I mean, Keith, glad you brought it up. She's been a great influence on my comedy career. With her around, she kind of ensures that I am not in her path. I am continuously in my study, working on my material, so that the moment I come in her path, the landmines explode somehow. So yeah, she's been a good influence on my career that way. As far as her potential career for her in comedy is concerned, I think she's pretty happy being the fashion and lifestyle influencer that she is. So I don't think she wants to venture into comedy because she discards 9 out of 10 jokes that I run past her. So I don't think she has a taste for comedy.
Now, you've discussed publicly as to how stand-up comedy has changed you. What's next for you in your journey of exploration in this very special career path? Engineer, financier, banker, comedian. I mean, maybe a Netflix series? Are you the next Mrs. Merkel? Are we going to see you in your own series internationally? What's next for you? How do you plan a career like this?
I really hope I'm not the next Mrs. Merkel, but I hope that I'm the first Mr. Dua on Netflix. But yeah, the kind of occupation that I'm in that allows me to be very free and open to experiences. So stand-up happened by chance, and I am very keen to explore sitcom ideas. I have a couple of ideas that I've been fleshing out. I've been writing pilots for them. So maybe a sitcom down the line, a couple of years down the line, or maybe you see me as an actor in one of the sitcoms. You never know. I'm open to experience. Please hit me up.
I think you'd be really good. You're arriving in the UK this week. You're going to go to Warwick University, where you're going to perform for the students. Then you're going to Harrow on the 25th of February at the Harrow Arts Centre in Pinner. You're then in central London at Tweak Hall on the 26th of February. And before all that, you're going to be in Dublin on the 20th of February. So it's quite a tour of the UK and Ireland. Are you looking forward to this? Are you excited about this international tour?
Oh, I am super excited. You should see my room. It's full of clothes and it's full of documents. I have taken printout of everything so that I don't forget anything. And I'm super excited to be there. Very excited to be there. My shoes are packed. My rain jacket is packed. My umbrella is packed. And my medicines are packed because no gluten.
Okay. Now, of course, missing from this list is God's country. Leicester is not on here yet, but we're hoping to get you to form in, obviously, the centre of the British Indian community outside India, which is the great city of Leicester. But we can't let you go, and my listeners will be very unhappy if I let you go without hearing a joke from you. I mean, you know, you've done it on YouTube, but I think the listeners of Leica Radio on this Sunday morning would like a bit of a pickup with a Rahul Dua joke. Give us a joke.
Okay. See, as somebody who's from a middle class family, I do not particularly understand how rich people behave. I once came across this guy who wanted to buy a pair of jeans for 20,000 rupees. Like, to translate, it's about 200 pounds. I mean, jeans come for as less as 20 pounds. I mean, what extra would a 200 or 2,000 pound jean do? I mean, will it walk automatically towards you? Will it change colors? Will it get you a cup of tea? I don't understand.
Well, wonderful. I will think about you when I'm next in Oxford Street. Rahul Dua, we always ask our special guests to choose a song that means something special to them and to dedicate that song to someone special. Which song would you like to choose, and to whom would you like to dedicate it to?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. I would like to dedicate this next song to all the Indians who are based overseas and all the listeners of Leica Radio who really enjoy popular Bollywood music. This song is called Chandigarh Kare Aashiki from the movie Chandigarh Kare Aashiki.
Rahul Dua, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and the very best of luck for this amazing tour. Harrow, Central London, Dublin, Warwick, and maybe even Leicester. We're delighted to have you in the UK, and I know that your shows are going to be an enormous success. Thank you for joining us, and the best of luck for the tour.
Thank you very much, Keith. Thank you so much for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. Thank you.
Let's hear Rahul Dua's song.
ਚੱਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਜਾਰਜ ਕਲੂਨੀ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਜਲਵਾਲਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਚੱਪੇ ਚੱਪੇ ਮਾਰ ਛੜੱਪੇ ਡਿੰਗ ਲੱਗ ਲੱਗ ਚੱਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਜਾਰਜ ਕਲੂਨੀ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਜਲਵਾਲਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਫਿਰਦਾ ਸਾਰੀ ਦਿੱਲੀ ਇਹ ਲੁੱਟ ਗਿਆ ਬਈ ਸੈਕਸੀ ਮਸਲਾ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਪਰ ਖੁਦ ਹੀ ਕਮਲਾ ਲੁੱਟ ਗਿਆ ਇੱਕ ਤੇਰੀ ਗਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਕਰੇ ਆਸ਼ਕੀ ਉਹ ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਕਰੇ ਆਸ਼ਕੀ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਠੁਕਰਾ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਕਰੇ ਆਸ਼ਕੀ ਇੱਕ ਤੇਰੀ ਗਲੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਚੰਡੀਗੜ੍ਹ ਕਰੇ ਆਸ਼ਕੀ ਮੁੰਡਾ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਨੂੰ ਠੁਕਰਾ ਕੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਮਰ ਨਾ ਜਾਏ ਕੁਝ ਖਾ ਕੇ ਹਾਂਜੀ सेक्टर 10 में मैंने देखा तेनू कल्ला बैठे बस में फट गई मेरी अखियां दी नस और दिल न रहा मेरे